The setting sun painted the Palermo sky in hues of violet and blood orange. Allegra, perched on a weathered balcony, felt the colors stir something deep within her. She wasn't like the other girls her age, content with gossip and lace. Allegra craved something more, something beyond the cobblestone streets and the familiar scent of saltwater. Her heart yearned for the open road, for a taste of freedom. She longed for speed. Allegra's parents, loving but traditional, worried about their daughter's restless spirit. They dreamed of a life for her filled with the comforts of their world, a world she seemed determined to leave behind. Little did they know, Allegra's life was about to take a turn, a sharp, exhilarating turn into the unknown. Rome didn't just welcome them, it swallowed them whole. The chaos was intoxicating, but it gnawed at Allegra's nerves. The ancient city, a maze of cobblestone streets and shadowy alleys, pulsed with a sinister energy. Amidst the throngs of tourists and the city's relentless pulse, Chiara, usually a firecracker, seemed haunted. Her usual spark was replaced by a jittery energy that set Allegra on edge. One evening, under the cloak of twilight, Chiara vanished. 1 minute she was there, her laughter cutting through the noise of Piazza Navona. The next she was gone. The only clue she left behind was a cryptic note. Gone racing. Find me if you can. Fear coiled inside Allegra like a viper ready to strike. Racing? What the hell did it mean? Chiara, with her love for vintage clothing and gelato, never seemed like the racing type. Something was off. Allegra could feel it in her bones. Determined to find her cousin, Allegra knew she had to follow Chiara's only lead. The note, reeking of gasoline and something else, something alien, held the key to Chiara's disappearance. It was time for Allegra to navigate the dark, labyrinthine streets of Rome, to unravel the gritty mystery of Chiara's disappearance, and to confront a world she never knew existed. Allegra, armed with her wits and Chiara's cryptic message, decided to retrace their steps. She remembered Chiara's fascination with a particular vintage Vespa poster near the Trevi fountain. The Vespa, a symbol of freedom and rebellion, seemed to call to Chiara. It was a long shot, but Allegra's gut told her this was the starting line of her chase. As she navigated the narrow alleys, the roar of a Vespa engine echoed in the distance. Ignoring the fear that threatened to paralyze her, Allegra, her own heart pounding like a drum solo, rented a scooter. She was determined to chase that sound, to chase the echo of her missing cousin. The chase was a dizzying blur of cobblestone streets and ancient ruins. The Vespa, an extension of Allegra's will, zipped through the heart of Rome, its engine a furious counterpoint to the city's ancient heartbeat. Each turn, each burst of speed, brought Allegra closer to the truth, closer to Chiara, or so she hoped. The chase led her to the outskirts of the city, to a hidden world tucked away from the tourist gaze. It was a world of speed, of roaring engines, and a raw energy that both scared and exhilarated Allegra. This was the world hinted at in Chiara's note, a world where girls like them, girls with fire in their veins, could find their tribe. Section 4. Unveiling the Underground. The roar of engines led Allegra to a deserted warehouse on the outskirts of Rome. The air throbbed with a palpable energy, a symphony of revving engines and the scent of burnt rubber. This was no ordinary garage. This was an underground arena where speed was worshipped, and skill was the only currency that mattered. Slipping past the unsuspecting guards, Allegra entered a world bathed in the harsh glare of floodlights. In the center of it all, a makeshift racetrack pulsed with life, and there, amidst the throng of cheering spectators, Allegra saw her. Chiara, clad in a worn leather jacket, her face alive with an exhilarating mix of fear and exhilaration, was preparing for a race. Allegra watched, mesmerized, as Chiara, a warrior queen in a male-dominated arena, took her place at the starting line. The roar of the engines was deafening, but for Allegra, the only sound that mattered was the pounding of her own heart. This wasn't the Chiara she thought she knew. This was Chiara unchained, free. As the race began, Allegra felt a surge of admiration for her cousin. Chiara, the girl who once seemed so fragile, was a force to be reckoned with. The race was a blur of speed and adrenaline, but in the end, Chiara emerged victorious. As she climbed out of her battered car, her face flushed with victory, she saw Allegra. A slow smile spread across her face. "You found me," she said, her voice hoarse with excitement. Section 5. Across the Atlantic towards the Roar. Kiara's world of underground racing, a world of grit and raw talent, captivated Allegra. The thrill of the race, the camaraderie of the drivers, it resonated with something deep within her soul. It was a world away from the cobblestone streets of Palermo, a world where she could be free. Kiara, her eyes sparkling with mischief, proposed a journey. "Come with me to America," she urged, her words tumbling over each other in her excitement. "To Daytona. There's a whole world of racing out there, a place where girls like us can really fly." The thought of America, a land of boundless highways and legendary racetracks, both excited and scared Allegra. It was a leap of faith, a journey into the unknown, yet something in Kiara's voice, a conviction she had never heard before, convinced Allegra to take the plunge. Leaving behind the familiar comfort of Palermo, Allegra boarded the plane with Kiara. As the plane soared above the clouds, she looked down at the world shrinking beneath her. A new chapter was beginning, a chapter fueled by speed, sisterhood, and the promise of a life lived on her own terms. The roar of the plane's engine was a symphony to her ears, a prelude to the symphony of speed that awaited her in Daytona. Section 6. Daytona's Angels of Asphalt. Daytona Beach, Florida. A place where the air thrummed with the endless symphony of the ocean and the intoxicating roar of engines. It was a world away from the ancient beauty of Palermo, and yet Allegra felt strangely at home. Here, beneath the blazing Florida sun, speed was a religion, and she was a willing convert. Kiara led her to a secluded garage, a haven of grease and gasoline, nestled amidst the tourist traps and neon lights of Daytona. Inside, a group of girls, their faces smudged with oil and their eyes burning with a shared passion, were huddled around a disassembled engine. These were Daytona's Angels of Asphalt, a fearless crew of female racers who defied every convention. The leader, a fiery redhead named Izzy, greeted them with a smirk. "So, you're the Italian stallions Kiara's been telling us about. Let's see what you got." Despite the initial gruffness, Allegra sensed a warmth beneath Izzy's tough exterior, a shared understanding that transcended language and culture. This was a sisterhood forged in the crucible of competition, a bond strengthened by the shared love for speed and the relentless pursuit of excellence. As Allegra spent more time with the Angels, she realized that this was more than just a racing team. It was a family that embraced her with open arms and pushed her to be the best version of herself.